Hello guys, so welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to go through the solid tab menu of Fusion 360. So we are going to go through a few of the functions inside the solid tab, and most of the work that you do in 3D modeling in Fusion 360 will be using the solid tab. So this will be a series of videos that are going to explain to you the different functions under the solid tab, the surface tab, and tools. Most probably I will focus on solid and surface because these are the functions that you will be using in developing your own 3D model. And for those of you who are out there who are new, please consider subscribing because I do videos on and tutorials on CAD and digital fabrication. If you think that this video is kind of long for you, please do not forget to speed up this video speed and put it to 1.25 so that you can hear the video in a much faster rate. Alright, so without further ado, let's go into the tutorial. So let's go on and look into the solid tab. So under Fusion 360, there are many tabs here: solid, surface, sheet metals, and tools. Like I said before, I'll be focusing on the solid and surface aspect. So under the solid tab, all right, under create, there is this many functions under create. Okay, under this section here. So this section is where you create your 3D model. All right. Let's say the first function, new component. So basically, new component is where you create them into a folder, your 3D model into a bigger subset, a bigger set, a bigger grouping. I think that's a better explanation. A bigger grouping of all the different parts into a component. So if you have many small models under the component, you can categorize it, organize your work much better. Okay, so for this one, I will cancel because I'm not using the component feature. So all of this will be under one component. So let's carry on under create sketch. So the next one, which is create sketch, is very important. That is where you build your 3D model from a 2D design. And from that 2D design, you extrude into a 3D form. So first of all, when you create a sketch, you think of your object in a cross-sectional view, and then you try to find a way as much as possible that if you can cross-sectional your 3D object and then you extrude it into the other half, so it's easier for you to complete. But most of the 3D models are very complex, so you have to manage your 3D model into smaller parts and into cross-sectional views, sketch them, extrude, and then you join all these parts together to form your complex 3D model. But this is the fundamental, is that you have to create a sketch. So under sketch, say it will ask you to select a plane, a face, whether it's X, Y, or Z. So most of the time I use Z. I use X. So I have a new set of menu and selections. So there will be a new tab called sketch. Okay, there's so many functions here. So if you create your sketch, there are many tools. One of which is the line. Okay, so you just select one point and the other point. So it helps you right now. It shows how long you want the line to be. You can specify the dimension, 150 for example, and you click or you press tab on your keyboard, and you can specify the degrees, the angle that you want it to go. And all you have to do right now is just to click the left mouse button. Unlike if you have much of a freehand building of your sketch, you can also click on a point and roughly gauge on where's the other point that you want it to be placed. You have these two options. You either specify or click for a rough estimate. It depends on you. So under sketch still, there are options to create a rectangle, circle. Okay, it's kind of straightforward. Rectangle, 2-point rectangle. That means you just click on one point, and the other point will develop a X and Y axis for you. All right, so you can click a rectangle, circle, and arc. There's 3-point center and tangent arc. You can create a polygon, ellipse, slot. All right, why is there a slot? If, for example, you have a face and you want to create a handle, right? A slot for your fingers. So a slot tool under sketch would be useful for you to design a handle for your project. All right, a spline tool. All right, so basically it's a curvatures, a series of curves for maybe for your patterns, a curve, and also very important is a text. How you create a text is that you place the first corner of the text frame just like the 2-point rectangle, and then you click on the second point, which will allow you to generate a box, and within that box you can type out your text. All right, so once you are done with your text, let's go back to, so under text there's also mirror, so it mirrors your sketch to a different plane. All right, so select object, basically is object and mirror line. Where's the mirror line? And it will generate another line symmetrical to the object that you select. Okay, that is roughly it. Now under modify, fillet. All right, fillet allows you to smoothen sharp corners. As you can see here, I click on the sharp point, the tip of the edge of the rectangle, it turns into a rounded corner. And you can specify how rounded it is by, as you can see here, there's the value 10 mm. You can, specify more, or you can specify less. Less than that. You have a smaller curve or a bigger curve. All right. Now, let's go to trim. Trim, basically, let's say you have a rectangle and you have a straight line that is intersecting or in excess of the shape. You click on trim to remove or delete these unnecessary lines, so you can extrude later on a perfect object. Okay, so that these lines doesn't interfere with extrusion. Okay, extend is the one that you extend your line. You select it and you can extend the line however you want. Okay, sketch scale, basically you select the sketch, the outer, the outer line of your sketch, select it as a whole, then you can click on a point. Let's see, and you can grow in whichever direction that you want. Okay, this is how to scale a sketch. And lastly, offset. If you have this entity, this line here, you can create an outer line. All right, so with this outer line, right, what you can do is you can delete the inner space, and from that outer line you can extrude into a shape. Right, so there you go. That's why there's an offset tool. All right, okay, so that is pretty much it for sketch. Right, so let's go back to the solid, and under solid there is extrude. This is very important. So this is where you generate your 3D object. You click on E on your keyboard. That's where you can extrude your shape out. Okay, and There are many options under when you extrude. You start from the profile plane. That's where your sketch is, where you draw your sketch on what plane was it. Mine was on the X plane, and direction is one side or two sides. So you can grow another on another side. You specify again on another side, or you can do symmetric. So if you just select on one, the other will grow in equal amount. Okay, and there is this option for a new body. That means you create a new object, or you join. If there's another body overlapping it, you join it, so you grow that 3D model, or you cut, all right, intersect. Cut. So that means as this thing grows and grows into another body, so this thing will eat up the other body if you select the operation cut. So if intersect, if this body and the another entity or another body have a common space, that's where the intersect happens. And you click OK, you will just select on that common space body. All right. So that's extrusion. Revolve is pretty much simple. As you can see, there is the definition. When you revolve, you just basically have this piece that you can grow 360. This is best if you would like to create a stem, all right, a stand, or something like a curve, a rod that have grooves on it. Okay, revolve is a good way of having that stand or that rod have details on it. All right. So based on what we did just now, is to sweep. Is if you have a object here, you have an object here, body, and underneath you have a spline. Okay. So if you want to sweep is a function where let's take a look. Profile. We click on here. Perpendicular, parallel. Okay. And the path is the spline below. See, it actually allows you to create depends on your operation, whether you want to cut or you want to join, make it into a bigger object, or intersect, have a common space that you just want. So if let's say you want to join, it adds on to the shape that you have originally. Using the spline, it adds depth, with volume to that object. It all depends on your design. So I'm not going to do the sweep. Let's go on. Loft. What is loft? So basically, let's say I have this object here. I would like to create another object in the air. All right, another object in the air. So what I do is I create an offset plane, and raise it. How far up do I want? Let's say 70 mm. And from that plane, I create another sketch. Right? So it shows here another sketch. So I got to just, okay, and I create a 2-point rectangle or a square. All right, doesn't matter. I finish. Then I see that there's another sketch here, and here's another plane. So when I click on loft, I click one profile and next profile. This is what happens when you loft. Okay, it creates a bridge between the two profiles that you have selected. You can click on join. I don't think we can intersect or cut because in between there, originally there wasn't anything in between. So the only way is you can join. All right, so once you're joined, you click on OK. This is the object that you see. Okay. Rib is basically if you have a 90-degree curve and you would like to create a thin feature, rib is what you do. Okay, for under embossment right now, we are at embossment. Basically, let's say you have a text and you like to have embossment. Okay, on that face, you create a text sketch. You finish the text sketch. You select the profile. Okay, the profile is the text, and the face is the where the text is sitting on. Okay, then you can do embossment. Okay, these two sketch profile. Let's say I click both as escape. So sketch profile, I focus on the wording, and the face is this face here. So as you can see, the text can grow upwards and create an embossment. See? Right. So yep, it depends on that. That is what embossment is about. All right. Let's go on. Creating a hole. If you have a box, you want to create a hole, you can actually cut a hole or a circular, cylindrical circle into that object. Okay, let's say you need to do a thread. So this function will automatically helps you to have that internal threading, cylindrical face threading, so that you do not have to manually do it, which is kind of crazy to do. So creates us okay under create solids. There's you can automatically, if you straight away you know you want to create a box. This is a function. If you create a box that you can off the get go, you can actually create a box. Okay, same goes for cylinder, sphere, torus, coil, and pipe. Pattern, if you have a duplicate face and feature, okay, duplicate it and control and arrange them into a certain direction, quantity and distance. Okay, mirror is basically if you have one side of an object, you can duplicate it on the other side. So that's the mirror function. So for taken, lastly, if you have a plane or a thin piece of uh, taken, basically it's if you have a face, all right, that is flat, you can actually is another way of extruding the face. All right, so the remainder is the one the functions that I do not use or rarely use, so I could not say much about this. Okay, so now we go on under solids as well. There is the modify section. Okay, press pull is basically very simple. It's actually it's also extrusion. Yeah, so if I press Q, I can actually grow the fillet. Sorry. Okay. It all depends on what type of uh, handles you are selecting. If you are selecting a face, you press pull, it actually grows the extrude the face and all. Fillet is the one I've said before. Okay, at the edge it can round off the edge so that it makes it much more user friendly. Okay, it doesn't have to be so sharp or yeah, and chamfer. Okay, basically it gives a more of a draft look for that corners. Shell, you can create a a body, or basically you under the body wise. So under shell, you can internally create a hollow box inside. All right, inside this you can create a hollow structure. That's shell. Draft, okay, well applies a fixed or parting line to planar face. Okay, draft actually, let's see, planar face, pull direction. face here. There you go. As you can see, before it I create a shell. Now you can see there's a shell inside, and draft actually create extrusion at an angle. Okay, that is draft. So scale is you select the entity or the body, and then you select the point where you want it to grow. Okay, either uniform or non-uniform. So you can grow non-uniform, so you can specify which angle it grows to, whichever way you want it to grow. Offset face, if you wish a face to be offset from a point, use this function. And the rest I don't usually use much except split body. All right, split body, you select a body to split, and the splitting tool is the face that, or you can construct a plane, offset plane. Okay, so let's say I have a plane here and I offset the plane this way. So if I have a split body, I select the body, and now I select the plane. Okay, it actually divides or cuts the body according to that plane. And now if I select the body here and I click on remove, there you go. You can see the internals of that shape 3D model. Alright, move copy is kind of straightforward. You can actually move. It is quite critical because especially when you want to join different bodies into a bigger body, so you have to learn to use this move tool, align. So you can align the face to another object. See, it goes, no, it looks terrible. So you can align this face, align this object to another surface, so it actually aligns them together. All right, to have that centralized positioning. Okay, so that is the align tool, delete, and the rest is pretty straightforward. Okay, I hope this video really helps you. Please leave a like if you think this video helped you. And if you dislike, please drop a comment, see what are the areas that you think I may be lacking in. So I am keen on making on the next one, which is building on the surface tab in Fusion 360. I'm going to go run down the different functions under surface tab. So see you in the next one. Bye.